So we have our speaker for the next session along with us today.
No?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Ravindra Kumar Gautam, sir, is with us today. I would request Swati Srivastava, madam, to please introduce him. Good evening, sir. First of all, I would like to thank you for accepting our request and being here today with us to share your wonderful experiences and knowledge. We are honored to introduce Dr. Ravindra Gautam, a renowned researcher at the Raja Jwala Prasad Postdoctoral Fellow at the Institution of Eminence, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi, India. Dr. Gautam is currently associated with the Department of Chemistry at BHU, working under the esteemed guidance of Professor Ida Tiwari. With over 12 years of experience, Dr. Gautam has made significant contributions in the field of environmental science, nanoscience, and nanotechnology. His research expertise encompasses environmental monitoring, wastewater management, adsorption, and biosorption of pollutants, and remediation of dyes and heavy metals for water and wastewater, with a strong focus on sustainable development. Dr. Gautam's academic journey includes a PhD on materials for remediation of pollutants from aquatic media and for green energy, where he investigated innovative solutions for addressing environmental challenges. He has also served as Dr. D.S. Kothari Postdoctoral Fellow, furthering his work in advanced materials and environmental remediations. Authored 55 research articles in SCI index journals, contributed 20 book chapters, 4 books. Presently, he is extensively involved in a lot of seminars, symposia, and conference presentations. He has achieved 4,611 citations, H index of 30, and I-10 index of 46 at the Google Scholar. Dr. Gautam has qualified for numerous prestigious fellowships and exams, including the CSIR, UGC JRF in 2010-11, UGC NET in 2010, amongst others. His credentials highlight his expertise in earth, atmospheric, ocean, and planetary sciences, along with environmental sciences. His dedication to advancing knowledge in magnetic nanoparticle functionalization and characterization, coupled with his impactful work on the remediation of pollutants, positions him as a leading figure in the field. We are privileged to have you with us, sir, and we are looking forward to sharing insights and your experience. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us today.
Thank you, Devansi. Uh, I hope the first session was very interesting for everyone, and we have learned lots of things about the climate change and global warming. So now I am going to present a small lecture on the environmental pollution assessment and climate change. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh,
Sir, but please be a bit louder. Please be a bit louder.
okay. Okay. So I will start the topic. As we know that our Earth is only planet where life exists due to its unique environmental conditions. It is composed of living and non-living environment. Living environment includes the plants, animals, and humans, and the non-living environment, which are air, soil, and water. Our air, soil, and water has been extensively polluted due to various kinds of contaminants and pollutants. We can define the pollution as an undesirable change in physical, chemical, and biological characteristics of our land, air, and water caused by excessive accumulation of pollutants. That is, substances which cause the pollution are called pollutants. There are various kinds of pollution like water pollution, soil pollution, and noise pollution. In terms of origin, it may be natural or anthropogenic. Degradation of air quality and natural atmospheric conditions constitute air pollution. The air pollutants may be a gas or the particulate matter. First, it comes to our mind that air pollution is uh, if there is any pollutants which pollute our air, which may be gas or particulate matter. We imagine the case of the Bhopal gas tragedy of the 1984, where the Union Carbide Limited, a pesticide manufacturing plant established in the Bhopal, released the MIC, methyl isocyanate gas, in the atmosphere, killing 10,000 people, and many were injured and hospitalized. This was a very bad tragedy in our history of the environmental. So this cannot be repeated because of the such kind of incidents. So the Indian government have established many regulations for it, but we will later discuss about that topic. The, I will introduce small definitions like particulate matters and carbon monoxide, all these things in a very short term. Particulate matter, it comprises of small suspended particles such as soot, dust, pesticide, etc., and biological agents such as spores, pollens, and dust mites. It causes the respiratory elements such as asthma, chronic bronchitis, etc. The carbon monoxide, which is released from the automobile industries and burning of the carbon containing coals, it is product of incomplete combustion of fossil fuels. So hydrocarbons such as methane are involved from the soil, micromethanogens in flooded rice fields and swamps. They are also generated during the burning of coal and petroleum products. Sulfur dioxide is released from the oil refineries and ore smelters, which use the sulfur containing fuels. It causes harmful effects on the plants and animals. It causes chlorosis and necrosis. In humans, it causes health problems such as asthma and bronchitis and emphysema. Nitrogen oxides also causes severe lung problems and heart diseases. Photochemical smog is a mixture of smoke and fog. It is formed in the atmosphere under the influence of sunlight by the photochemical reactions of hydrocarbons, oxides of nitrogen and oxygen, resulting in the formation of peroxyacetyl nitrate, which is a secondary pollutant of the air. It damages the chlorophyll and thus reduces the photosynthesis rate and growth of the plants. It also causes acute irritation of eyes and throats in the human beings. The visibility of the surrounding is reduced due to the formation of the photochemical smog and the peroxyacetyl nitrate. Air pollution also causes the acid rain problems. Several gases involved in the acid rains are the sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides in the form of sulfuric acid and nitric acid, which precipitates during the rain. It damages the building materials, plants, and animals. It also makes the soil acidic. So, in very short, we can control the air pollution like particulate matters emitted from the industry should be controlled by the devices such as scrubbers, precipitators, and filters. Use of unleaded or the low sulfur containing fuels should be encouraged. Shifting of non-conventional sources of energies like solar, hydel, and tidal energy should be preferred in place of the conventional energy sources. Smoking in public places should be prohibited due to the cigarette smoking contains carcinogen and such as benzopyrenes. An average smoker runs the risk of developing heart and lung diseases. Severe plantation of trees along the roadside and around the industrial area should be encouraged. One of the major pollution is the water pollution. It is the it is the addition of any unwanted substance which changes the physical and chemical characteristics of water in any way which makes it unfit for the human consumptions. It is caused by waste products of the industries, domestic sewage, oil spillage, agriculture, and industrial runoff. This figure shows that water pollution sources are leather industries, mining and metallurgical industries, detergent manufacturing industries, agricultural discharges, dyes and pigments making industries, fertilizer making industries, and the sewage and domestic waste from running from our households. The industrial effluents contains the heavy metals and chemicals such as arsenic, cadmium, copper, chromium, mercury, zinc, nickel, etc. are the directly released into the water bodies such as lake, ponds, rivers. Without the proper treatment, these wastes contaminate the water bodies and make them unsuitable for the human consumption. There are various kinds of sources which can categorize it into the point sources and non-point sources. This images shows the point sources and non-point sources of water pollution. One of the famous case of the Minamata disease of Japan of the 1956 was due to the methyl mercury poisoning. One of the factory which was established in 1923 in Japan was the Chiso Chemical Industries, which was established to make several kinds of polymers, was using the mercury as a source in their chemical, and the mercury was released into the wastewater from the industry, and directly it was dumped in the seashore, where it gets accumulated in the fishes and shellfishes. People were consuming the fishes were severely developed neurological diseases. In 1953, 56, it was discovered that the neurological diseases was very serious in the people, and government was forced to uh, pay the public around 80 million US dollar penalty. Many industries use water as a coolant for the machinery and release of hot wastewater into the water bodies, causing thermal pollution which affects the both plants and animal lives. The surface runoff. The surface runoff from the agricultural land is contaminated with pesticides and residue of inorganic fertilizers. Runoff from urban and industrial are rich in organic and inorganic compounds. These pollutants contaminate both surface and groundwater resources. Oil spill is an accidental discharge of petroleum products in oceans and estuaries from the capsized oil tanker, offshore drilling and exploration operations. It can cause drastic damage to the marine and coastal biodiversity. Domestic discharges are rich in organic matter and detergents. Decomposition of organic matter is increases in nutrient content of the water bodies, hence it increases the eutrophication of the aquatic ecosystem, which leads to the death of aquatic animals like fishes and amphibians. Excess nutrients results in algal bloom, which on the surface of the water resulting the deficiency of oxygen content. This in turn leads to the death of aquatic organisms. So there is need to treat the wastewater, to remove the wastewater for its recycling, to promote health concern and public hygiene, to preserve aquatic life and wildlife habitat, to promote recreation and quality of life. There are various remediation technologies are available for water cleanup, which includes coagulation and precipitation. Where we use alum, ion exchange, where we use geolite type of materials, and membrane filters are available in the market. Bioremediation, it can be implemented at larger scale where like wetlands. Adsorption is a very popular technique of the wastewater remediation techniques, which uses different type of carbon materials and nanostructured materials. Heterogeneous catalysis also uses different type of materials and nanomaterials. Sewage treatment plants should be installed to treat sewage from before releasing the waste into the water bodies. Excessive use of pesticides and herbicides should be avoided. Fertilizer should be avoided. A biological control of insect pests and organic farming is to be followed in order to reduce the dependence on pesticides and inorganic fertilizers. It can be controlled by the legislation and strict enforcement by creating social awareness among people about the water pollution and the need for the pure water. One of the type of pollutants is the soil pollution. Pollution is the soil. Soil pollution is the unfavorable alteration of our fertile soil by the addition or the removal of substances which decrease soil productivity and groundwater quality. It usually results from different human activities like dumping of waste, use of agrochemicals, mining operations, and urbanization. The different industrial solid waste and sludge containing toxic organic and inorganic compounds as well as heavy metals discharged on the soil. The radioactive waste from the nuclear power plants and nuclear explosions also contaminate our soil and the fertile land. Fly ash contains fine particulates which are released from the thermal power stations. It settles on the ground and causes pollution of soil and water. The domestic waste is rich in organic matter and undergo decomposition, which directly impacts the fertility of the soil. Hospital waste contains a variety of pathogens that can seriously affect the human life. Agricultural chemicals such as pesticides, insecticides, and inorganic fertilizers may pollute drinking water and can change the chemical properties of the soil adversely, affecting the soil organisms. So there are some control measures to for the soil, like management of soil waste includes collection and categorization of waste, recovery of resources like scrap metals, plastic, etc. for recycling and reuse, and safe disposal with a minimum environmental hazards. Other notable methods of waste disposal includes incineration and pyrolysis. Afforestation and reforestation should be undertaken on a large scale to prevent soil erosion and loss of soil nutrients. So all these pollution and the pollutants are directly related to the climate change. First, I will define what is climate change and the weather. Daily change in our temperature and precipitation is called weather, and temp the change in temperature and precipitation over a longer period, more than 30 years, is known as the climate change. So this image shows the Alaska's Muir Glacier in August 1941. It is totally covered by the frost and ice. In August 2004, as the image is recorded by the US Geological Survey, it shows that all the ice has been melted into water. So we can understand what is the impact of climate change over a longer period of time. So what causes the climate change? This may be natural and human induced causes like greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxides, and excessive burning of the fossil fuels. The image shows that the concentration of carbon dioxide in 1750 was nearly 280 ppm. By the passage of time, now in as the data has been recorded in 2020, the concentration of carbon dioxide has been reached nearly 400 ppm. So this drastic change in the carbon dioxide emission has been taken place due to the industrial revolution after the 1870. There are various greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxides, hydrofluorocarbons, perfluorocarbons, and sulfur hexafluorides, which causes the global warming and rise of the atmospheric temperature of the surface of the earth, which leads to the climate change. This is a typical diagram which shows the global warming. The upcoming radiation from the sunlight hits the surface of the earth. Most radiation is absorbed by the earth's surface and warms it, and left one is reflected to the atmosphere. The atmospheric gases which present in the atmosphere like CO2, water vapors, methane, and hydrofluorocarbon re-radiate it to the earth surface and hits the atmosphere, which is known as the greenhouse effect. There are various anthropogenic causes which includes the use of fossil fuels in industries and transportation, land use change in the agriculture and deforestation of the green lands. This image shows the various percentage of the greenhouse gas emission by different sectors. Power stations releases 21.3% global warming gases. Waste disposal 3.4%, land use changes 10%, residential and commercial around 10.3%, fossil fuel around 11.3%, agricultural byproducts 12.5%, transportation fuels around 14%. The responsible gases which comes from different sectors has been shown in the figure. Evidence of changes in the Earth's climate. Atmospheric concentration has been rise from 280 ppm from the period of 1000 to 1750 to 379 ppm in the year 2000 as recorded by the IPCC data. Global mean surface temperature has been raised around 0.74 degrees Celsius over the 20th century. Annual CO2 concentration growth rate was larger during the last 10 years from 95 to 2005, average 1.9 ppm per year than it has been since the beginning of continuous direct atmospheric measurements between 1960 to 2005, average was 1.4 ppm per year. This image shows the global temperature trends of the surface and the troposphere of the Earth. You can see the changes which are marked in different colors where the global warming potential and the climate change has been recorded. There has been recorded 0.75% change in the brown color over the troposphere and the land surface. Significant increase in North and South America and Northern Europe, North and Central Asia, drying in Sahel and Mediterranean Southern Africa, parts of South Asia in the precipitation has been recorded. There has been gradual increase in the global sea level rise. Average rate of 1.8 millimeter per year has been sea level rise recorded. There has been change in the ice in the Arctic Sea ice extent and the thickness. Maximum area of seasonally frozen ground decreased by 7% in northern hemisphere since 1900. You can easily see by this image, which was recorded in 1992, where the orange color shows the melting of the ice. It has been increased in the 2002 projections of future changes in climate for the next 2 decades. A warming of about 0.2 degrees Celsius per decade has been projected by the IPCC. Increase in the amount of precipitation are very likely in high latitudes, while decreases are likely in most subtropical land regions. Hot extremes, heat waves, and heavy precipitation events are expected to become more frequent. Likely that future tropical cyclones will increase in the Indian coast. Snow cover is projected to contract. Past and future anthropogenic CO2 emissions will continue to contribute to the warming for more than a millennium due to time scales required for removal of this gas from the atmosphere. So there are various impacts of climate change on our earth resources. Climate change will exacerbate water shortage in many water scarce areas of the world. Demand for water is increasing due to population growth and economic development. Substantial reduction of available water in many of the water scarce areas of the world, but increase in some other areas. Freshwater quality would generally be degraded by the higher water temperature, but this may be offset in some regions by increased flow. This image shows the freshwater stress as the image is first one image is recorded in 1995. The orange color shows the water stressed areas. India is excluded. India was excluded in 1995 from more than 40% water stress areas. But in 2025, the image shows that India has been included in this list where the freshwater stress is severe. Climate change will impact our agriculture ecosystem due to the increase in temperature and precipitation patterns, which leads to the changes in the crop yield. Length of growing season will be changed, so the duration of our crop system will be disturbed. Droughts, extreme events will be increased. Biodiversity shifts will be occurred in the crop varieties and farming system. New pests and new diseases will be introduced, so the food security will be hampered. It will impact our health due to the thermal stress, heat waves, and cold spells. Extreme events like weather disasters, personal injuries, damage, and disruption to infrastructures. Infectious diseases will be increased, like malaria and dengue cases have been increased during the last decades. Air pollution will be increased due to the excessive production of sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, and ozone. It has been noted that the carbon monoxide have 10, 210 times more binding efficiency for the hemoglobin in the blood. So it will drastically impact our health system. It will impact our ecological systems due to the change in the structure and function of ecological systems, which will be altered due to the increase in the temperature. The biodiversity will be decreased, especially in niche systems like alpine and arctic regions. Climate change have a drastic impact on the coastal areas, beaches, and salt marshes. Mangrove ecosystems, which are the largest ecosystem on the earth, which absorbs carbon dioxide concentration, will be disturbed. There has been sea level rise during the 21st century, around 5 millimeter per year. Low-lying areas inundated and small island states will disappear. Salt water intrusion into aquifers flood. Low-lying coastal cities like Shanghai, Jakarta, Tokyo, Manila, Bangkok, Mumbai, and Dhaka will be at forefront of the impacts of the climate change. There will be excessive migration of species from hot areas to the cold regions. Plants and animal ranges will be shifted to the polewards and up in the elevation. Vulnerable species will be increased. It's increasingly threatened by the changing habitat and food supply. Hurricanes and storm will increase in the tropical cyclone. There will be increase in the number of floods. For example, in Assam, Bihar, and Mumbai, we have seen severe floods. Each year, increased frequency of landslides and drought will be occurred. Heat wave and cold waves will uh, increased and climatic variability will be observed. So there are various solutions to the climate change, like the greenhouse gases should be decreased. We should in we should adopt more electronic vehicles in comparison to the petrol and diesel vehicles. More forestations should be encouraged. Reforestation should be encouraged where the forests have been disturbed by the human activities like zoom cultivation or farming houses. Water should be conserved and sustainable use of natural resources should be encouraged. Wildlife conservation should be encouraged and more wildlife sanctuaries and national parks and biosphere reserve should be encouraged. We should increase the renewable energy sources in place of conventional energy sources. So this is the last highlight. Thank you very much to all of you.
Anyone from the audience want to ask any question? So you can just unmute your mic and ask the question.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think a very good lecture, so thank you. My only question was when you were discussing about air pollution, you took the example of Bhopal gas tragedy. Yes,
Yes, yes.
Bhopal gas tragedy was a tragedy, but sir, it was not an example of air pollution. It was just an accident. So my question is, the accidents can still happen. I mean, there is no way you can always prevent an accident. So, what steps have been taken so that the effect of accident is not as catastrophic as Bhopal gas tragedy? So, my question is, accidents will happen. Whatever prevention you take, they can always happen. But how will we ensure that their effect is not as catastrophic? How do we manage accidents?
So we can manage by the advanced technological innovations and advanced machinery. So industrial uh, uh, machinery should be checked properly before the each operations, and we should encourage some most eco-friendly chemicals instead of more poisonous precursors.
बात बेटा Anyone from the audience? Hello.
Hello, good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Sir, how climate change is different from the weather change?
So, as I told you that weather is a daily change in our temperature and precipitation. So a change in one day temperature and pressure, we cannot say that it is a climate change. Change in the average temperature and precipitation over a longer period. जैसे कि आईपीसीसी 30 years का एक टाइम लेके चलता है कि 30 years के बाद या उस बीच में कितना चेंज आया. The change in the 30 years temperature and precipitation is considered as the climate change.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
सर उसमें मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि हम लोग बोलते तो हैं कि हम 1.5 या 2 डिग्री तक मेंटेन करेंगे, बट वी ऑल नो कि वो होने वाला नहीं है. द वे ट्रेंड्स आर गोइंग इट विल प्रोबेबली गो अप टू 5 डिग्री, 4 या 5 डिग्री तक चला जाएगा 2100 में. उसके इफेक्ट्स को कैसे मैनेज करना है, उसमें कुछ टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा? बिकॉज क्लाइमेट तो डिस्ट्रॉय हो ही रहा है. देयर इज नो डाउट कि वो 1.5 या 2 डिग्री तक रुकने वाला नहीं है, उसके बाद जाएगा. उसके कैटास्ट्रोफिक इफेक्ट्स होंगे जो हमने जैसे वायनाड में देखा या और होंगे. उसको बचाने के लिए हम उस इफेक्ट्स पे क्या काम कर सकते हैं? वहां पे कुछ टेक्नोलॉजी काम कर रही है क्या?
Yes, we can use government can provide some more eco-friendly, eco-friendly instruments like batteries. We can use electronic vehicles. We can use tidal energy. Government can promote. It's not an easy task to handle such type of projects.
ये टेक्नोलॉजी तो सर क्लाइमेट चेंज को कम करने के लिए है. लेकिन
हाँ.
जैसे आपने ईवी की बात करी, ईवी से
Yes.
डेफिनेटली क्लाइमेट चेंज बचेगा, लेकिन जब हम लिथियम को एक्सट्रैक्ट करेंगे तो वहां पॉल्यूशन होगा. तो व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज कि ये मान के चले कि ये 1.5 से 2 डिग्री तक रुकने वाला नहीं है, शताब्दी के अंत तक ये 4 डिग्री पे हो जाएगा. उसके
नहीं,
इफेक्ट्स
नहीं.
को रोकने के लिए गवर्नमेंट्स दुनिया में क्या कर रही हैं? बिकॉज आई एम श्योर गवर्नमेंट्स आल्सो अंडरस्टैंड कि दे कैन नॉट रिस्ट्रिक्ट इट टू 1.5 or 2 डिग्रीज.
Yes, yes, you are right.
क्या टेक्नोलॉजी हमारी मदद कर सकती है कि पहले ही पता लग
बिल्कुल,
जाए कि
बिल्कुल,
लैंडस्लाइड आने
बिल्कुल
वाला है,
कर
वहां से
सकती
हम
है.
गाँव खाली कर रहे हैं जैसे वायनाड में हुआ? या पहले ही पता लग जाए कि तूफान बहुत ज्यादा आने वाला है, जैसे
नहीं, नहीं,
गोवा
वो
या
तो
केरला के
prediction.
कुछ एरिया ज्यादा
These
ससेप्टेबल हैं?
all these depends on our predictions. The climate modeling. उतना एडवांस क्लाइमेट मॉडल्स हमारे पास नहीं है जितना कि यूएस और यूके में है. गवर्नमेंट इज आल्सो वर्किंग, साइंटिस्ट आर आल्सो वर्किंग ऑन द क्लाइमेट मॉडलिंग एंड वेदर प्रेडिक्शंस.
मेरा सर एक क्वेश्चन और है कि हम लोग अवेयरनेस के लिए कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं. जैसे हमारा रिसोर्स कंजर्वेशन नहीं हो रहा है, वाटर की वेस्टेज हो ही रही है, पावर वेस्टेज हो ही रही है. हम लोग जो रिसाइकिल करना हो वो करते नहीं है. कितने हम लोग कपड़े वेस्ट करते हैं, सब कुछ करते हैं. उसमें अवेयरनेस नहीं हो रही है कि क्लाइमेट चेंज इसीलिए हो रहा है बिकॉज हमारे जो ऑपरेशन है, आप आजकल मार्केटिंग देख लीजिए, कितनी मार्केटिंग साइट्स खुल गई हैं, उससे कितना मतलब ऐसा मटेरियल आ रहा है जिसका यूज नहीं है, बट वी आर जस्ट जस्ट प्लॉन्डरिंग इट बिकॉज हमारी अर्निंग कैपेसिटी बढ़ गई है. उसके अवेयरनेस के
यस,
लिए
यस.
गवर्नमेंट कुछ क्यों नहीं कर रही है? या अगर कर रही है तो इससे ज्यादा कुछ कर सकती है क्या?
हाँ, हाँ, बिल्कुल कर सकती है. एक्चुअली जो गवर्नमेंट कर रही है वो बहुत एक छोटे स्केल पे होता है. वी शुड रीच टू द विलेजेस वेयर people should learn about the conservation of water and natural resources. एक्चुअली हम लोग को जितना रिसोर्स मिलता है वो तो गांव साइड से ही आके सिटी में बिकता है, सेल होता है. तो वी फर्स्ट एजुकेट एंड अवेयर द विलेजर्स to promote these things which are less harmful to our environment. एंड जो सिटीज एरिया है वहाँ पे अलग टाइप का अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम थ्रू द स्कूल्स एंड हॉस्पिटल्स वुड बी प्रमोटेड.
स्कूल लेवल पे बचपन से हम क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं? व्हाई कांट वी डू इट एट द चाइल्ड लेवल? जैसे चाइल्ड को
नहीं
फर्स्ट क्लास से ही समझा दिया एनवायरमेंट एनवायरमेंट एनवायरमेंट, तो जब वो 12वीं में निकलेगा उसको पता है कि पानी वेस्ट नहीं करना है, पापा को मना करेगा नल का मत खोलो, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी वेस्ट नहीं करनी है, या अगर वो गाँव में है तो ड्रिप इरिगेशन करनी है। तो ये चीज हम स्कूल लेवल पे राइट फ्रॉम द स्टैंडर्ड वन क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं? बिकॉज ये हमारे लिए खतरा है, और एटलीस्ट एक फ्यूचर जनरेशन के लिए तो खतरा है ही।
जी बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. many of us are aware about these things, but चाहे वो स्कूल हो या हॉस्पिटल, हम लोग भूल जाते हैं. हम लोग मतलब इंडियंस की एक आदत होती है ना, अच्छी चीजें सीखते हैं स्कूल में बट वो बाहर निकल के भूल जाते हैं. तो वी शुड रिमेम्बर what are our natural resources and how we have to conserve it. It is our duty also to conserve the natural
Absolutely right,
resources.
sir. It's our duty. We started from our kids actually. अगर वो
Yes,
एक
yes,
गिलास पानी
yes,
मांगता है तो हम उसको आधा देते हैं कि आप इसको 4 बार में पियो.
yes, yes,
So we have to aware about it ourselves from ourselves side.
yes, yes, yes.
Any one question?
Hello, sir. Is
Yes,
I am
yes,
audible?
please. Yes, yes,
Uh,
please.
Sir, basically, we are talking about this all measures like pollution is from everywhere. We can say it is from water, it is from air, it is from industries, it is from everywhere. Now, recent example is we are promoting this solar energy as a renewable energy so that it can contribute more effect and less harm to the environment. But do we have thought over it that after you when this backup of the batteries will finish and we have to destroy this battery, lot of silicons will be produced, and we need to discharge this silicons somewhere to some place, and that will be very very harmful because we do not have a right now plan on it. So this
Yes,
is
the
the way.
research is going on the recycling of the battery. Actually, we can recycle it into one place or one particular recycling stations where the pollutants cannot be directly dumped into the water, or it cannot be released into the directly into the air. There should be some a particular locations where battery and the battery water should be recycled.
Yeah, I can begin, but the parts which will be dumped into the earth, basically they will pollute the soil. And soil is the ingredient basically which is helping this all plants to grow and evaporate. All this process will be happen when it comes when your all growing of the plants will be proper, fertilizer will be proper, vegetation will be proper.
यार मैं यहाँ एक चीज बोलूंगा कि आपको
जी,
डिस्टिंग्विश करना पड़ेगा कि क्लाइमेट चेंज क्या है और पोल्यूशन क्या है। क्लाइमेट
exactly.
चेंज और पोल्यूशन अलग अलग चीजें हैं। अगर आप लोग पावर नहीं, बिल्कुल अधिकतर आपका जो क्लाइमेट चेंज होता है पावर जनरेशन में आपका बहुत ज्यादा क्लाइमेट चेंज होता है, बहुत ज्यादा CO2 निकलता है, उसको रोकना बहुत जरूरी है। रही बात सोलर की, तो यस, सोलर सेल्स वगैरह को डिस्पोज ऑफ करना पड़ता है, पर उसकी लाइफ बहुत ज्यादा होती है, 30-40 साल। एंड जैसा सर ने कहा कि उस पर टेक्नोलॉजी आ रही है, तो सोलर का कोई अल्टरनेटिव नहीं है अनलेस यू गो फॉर ओशन एनर्जी। बट ओशन एनर्जी इज ऑल्सो वेरी डिफिकल्ट, या हाइडल एनर्जी तो हमें करना ही पड़ेगा, बिकॉज बाकी जो आपका कोल बेस्ड एनर्जी है या न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी है उसका बहुत खतरा है। न्यूक्लियर में आपका रेडिएशन लीकेज का, और कोल में आपका बहुत ज्यादा क्लाइमेट चेंज होता है। तो माई रिक्वेस्ट इज क्लाइमेट चेंज और पॉल्यूशन को आप अलग अलग देखें, उनको मिक्स नहीं कर सकते, दे आर डिफरेंट थिंग्स।
Yes, I can understand these things. Correct, correct. But what I am talking about that is basically the preventive measures of the technology that we can bring on this direction. हम क्या ला सकते हैं कि इस चीज को हम आगे और सोचें.
वही रिसर्च होनी है। हमारे पास 30-40 साल है, वो सोलर सेल 30-40 साल चलते हैं, उसको कैसे डिस्पोज करना है, कैसे उसका इफेक्ट मिनिमाइज करना है, वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट, एंड आई थिंक दैट्स आवर वर्क एज साइंटिस्ट, हाउ वी कैन डू इट।
सर हमें ही एफर्ट्स डालने होंगे. आई हैव अ फ्रेंड हु हैज स्टार्टेड अ बैटरी रिसाइकलिंग प्लांट. तो इट इज दैट वी हैव टू ब्रिंग इनोवेशंस एंड आइडियाज, क्योंकि हर बार चैलेंजेस चेंज होते जाएंगे. विद टाइम एवरीवेयर देयर विल बी अ न्यू चैलेंज. तो वो चैलेंज को डील करने के लिए हमें ही आइडियाज लेके आनी पड़ेगी.
Yes, yes.
Anyone ask a question? Hello.
सर ये स्लाइड शेयर करेंगे क्या?
Sir, we
हाँ
will
मैं
send you the PPT.
Oh, okay. I will send it to the Devansi, and
Yes,
she
yes.
can distribute among you.
Okay, sir. Okay, okay. We will share to
Okay.
all of you. Okay.
Any more question?
Anybody want to ask a question? Okay, if you want to ask any question, please write a mail to the sir. We will provide you a mail ID to the sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It's a wonderful lecture. It will help you for further studies and further research, enhancing the research criteria. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Swati, and thank you, Dr. Devansi, for inviting me this talk. And I am also thankful to all the IPS Academy family for inviting me to deliver this talk. I am thrilled.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so
all
much.
of you. Thank you, participants.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And we're looking forward to seeing you in person sometime in future again.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
If anyone wants any help from my side, so you are most welcome to visit the BHU, or you can contact me directly.